This is the Sawyer CNOC collaboration, pairing the Sawyer Squeeze with the CNOC Vecto 2 litre, and I've had my hands on it for the last couple of weeks to test it out. So today I'm going to take you through who the brands are, how the system works, maintenance, care, and just altogether my thoughts on the system. First of all, what is it? It's a perfect example of the industry really listening and pairing two products that were already being used together, the Sawyer Squeeze and the CNOC Vecto, into one package. This is something that happens surprisingly rarely, so a lot of hikers are very happy with this collaboration. If you're new to the hiking scene, you might not have heard much about either of these brands, but for most hikers, especially anyone into thru-hiking or the ultralight gear scene, Sawyer and CNOC are very well established brands. Sawyer's been the go-to for reliable water filtration for years, and CNOC have built a solid reputation for making tough, well-designed gear, particularly their Vecto bladders. So what do you get in the box? So first of all, you get the cleaning plunger. So that's just to backwash the filter. Then you get the CNOC bladder itself with the Sawyer branding on it as well. So you've got the little screw on this end to seal that up. That's where the filter goes in, and you're able to undo that, and that's where you fill up your water from. And then finally you get the filter itself, so the Sawyer Squeeze. And this is the pairing coupler, so that you can, so that end screws into there. I'll show you that in a minute. And then you can screw this end on as well, and then you can screw that into another bottle or into another CNOC bladder. This gives you various options for gravity filtering and backflushing. So in terms of specs, on the website you'll see that it says that this combination, the Sawyer Squeeze filter and the CNOC Vecto 2 litre bladder together weigh 167 grams. I forgot to weigh it before I used it, but afterwards, as you can see, it weighed a little more, but you know, close enough to that I trust the 167 gram mark. Adding in the other bits, you've got the coupler at 5 grams, you've got the lid at 6 grams, and then the plunger coming in at about 30 grams. So all in all, not too much extra weight to be carrying these bits, and still coming in, you know, just over that 200 gram mark. The Sawyer Squeeze is a hollow fiber membrane filter. This means that inside there are a number of pores that gradually get smaller and smaller, filtering out over 99.9999% of harmful bacteria and protozoa, as well as 100% of microplastics. Viruses can get through these filters, but in countries like Australia, New Zealand, and North America, these are not commonly found. So the Sawyer Squeeze is a great option for these countries. The Vecto filter is made from TPU and is BPA, BPF, and BPS free. It has a slightly rubbery feel and is super durable without being too over the top and weighing too much. The main benefit of this over the regular Sawyer Squeeze is the large opening at the top, which really speeds up the process of filtering and makes it significantly easier to grab the water, wash, rinse, and dry it. The key features of the Sawyer Squeeze and CNOC Vecto 2 litre bladder are the filter itself, which is compact, easy to use, and it threads straight onto the 28mm CNOC Vecto bladder. This is the same diameter valve as most regular plastic bottles, making it super easy to use a variety of water storage solutions. The Sawyer Squeeze isn't the smallest or lightest filter on the market, and it probably doesn't have the fastest flow rate, but they just continue to work for years without really clogging up, which is how they've become so popular. First time using the Sawyer CNOC filter, so I'm just going to grab it. It opens up nicely at the top here. And super quickly that fills up, and then it tells you which side to squeeze in like that. Slide the top on. And then you can tip it upside down and undo the little cap, which is where your filter is going to go. Today I'm going to use the coupling link just because I think that's going to make things bit easier and go straight into the regular Sawyer bag. And then we're all connected, and I'm just going to start filtering through. Probably can't see it going in, but I can feel it coming through the filter, and you can kind of slowly see the bag starting to fill up. And that's how to use the Sawyer CNOC filter. The beauty of this collaboration is how seamless it feels. These products have been used together for years, and you can see why people already paired them up. You fill the CNOC bladder, screw the Sawyer filter straight onto it, and either squeeze it into a clean bottle. You can even drink right through it, although to be honest that seems like a pretty inconvenient option to me. Or the filter also supports gravity setups, and it's got this handy loop here, so you can just hang this and then let the water filter through. Like all Sawyer filters, maintenance is relatively straightforward, but it does need to be done regularly, or you'll end up with a clogged filter that won't get any clean water out. So how do you do it? To keep the flow rate strong, you'll want to backflush it regularly, either with the plunger I showed you earlier, or the coupler and a clean water source with a 28mm thread, such as a plastic bottle or another bladder. You can simply screw these together and then filter backwards to wash out any remnants in there. You want to filter it every few days on a long hike to keep it running well, or every time you get home. While the filter itself is incredibly reliable, there are a few ways you can damage or misuse it that could result in you getting sick. The first is just not being careful with the clean end of the filter. I always take the filter off the bladder when dunking it in a water source to avoid cross-contamination, and then screw it back on to filter the water. The main way to damage the filter itself is by leaving it to freeze. Once you've used the filter, there's water inside it, and if you let it freeze, the water inside expands and can damage the hollow fibers that keep the filter working. On a cold night, I'll take the filter off, put it in a Ziploc bag, and put it in my sleeping bag with me to make sure it doesn't get too cold. While the CNOC bladders are super durable, like anything that has water in it, they are susceptible to mold and can end up tasting quite bad if not cleaned properly after use. A rinse with warm soapy water after each use and ensuring it dries properly is key to keeping the bladder in good working order. Once it's washed, simply put this end in and keep both ends open to dry. It might feel like this solves a very small problem, but considering water purification happens multiple times a day, sometimes for months on end, having a reliable system that you're happy with can make a big difference to how you feel on trail. So earlier I said that the Sawyer filter was more reliable and longer lasting than other filters. Now what did I mean by that? Other hollow fiber filters, which is what the Sawyer Squeeze is, are rated by their companies to last for between 1,500 to 2,000 litres of water filtration. The Sawyer Squeeze absolutely knocks it out of the park with 100,000 gallons of water rated to go through this filter before needing to replace it. So for anyone in Australia or anywhere else in the world, that is almost 380,000 litres. So provided you're looking after it well, backflushing it and keeping it in the right conditions, this filter should really see all of your trips out and, last a lifetime. Do I recommend this filter? Absolutely. It exceeded my pretty high expectations. You've got kind of the most trusted hollow fiber filter on the market paired with the best, most trusted bladder on the market. It's a pairing that people were already putting together. They've just come together to collaborate in a seamless package that, looks good, it's cross-branded, and everything about it just works, and it works really well.